Where do you find relief in New York? Well, in Union Square. It's actually a flagpole, and it has some kind of story here. Naked figures doing something, I don't know. Anyway, maybe I should investigate that later and tell you what it's all about. But I'm here to talk about this book, Girl on Girl, by Sophie Gilbert. How pop culture turned a generation of women against themselves. So I have mixed feelings about the book. It started out, it started out really good for me because, you see, I knew someone, had a close kind of intimate relationship with someone for several years who was a lot older than me and who was a lot younger than me, the opposite, and was a millennial. So what, she was born in 83, I believe. So she's kind of the same age as Sophie Gilbert here, and Sophie Gilbert, I think, is British. So I like the beginning of the book because it sort of explained certain things that I hadn't quite understood about this person who was involved with, who was very dear and kind person, but yet had sort of quirks and things going on that I didn't really understand. So what goes on in the book here is she explains, it's partly a media studies kind of a thing. So she talks about how the music and feminism of the 90s is the first chapter. Girl power, boy rage. Second is showgirl, overexposure in the new millennium. Third chapter is girls on film, sex comedies from multiplexes to the manosphere. And so there's a lot of pulp culture in this book, and things that I kind of was aware of, knew were out there, but never bothered to watch myself. Like all these, sort of Seth Rogen bro comedies she's referred to in the book. I never watched any of them. I mean, I haven't even watched Seinfeld or Friends. Each of those I probably saw like one episode. So I'm kind of I'm kind of protected, self-protected, clean of a lot of that stuff, that kind of influence, because I didn't expose myself to it. But this person, she, as a child in a suburban home in Long Island, sitting with her parents watching television, and then the internet arising, like late 90s, 2000, got exposed to a lot of these influences that are effective. I mean, I'm a child of the late 60s, and I was influenced by the Vietnam War, the reaction to the Vietnam War, the radicalism involved with that. Other people I know were, influenced by the punk generation, punk rock, and things like that. So although I have always been quite for a while were involved with younger people and got exposed to a lot of other things. I'm at base this person who's kind of set. My set and setting and my basic point of view did come out of the 60s and the kind of real liberalism in mass culture back then. She does mention how a lot of these things changed in the 90s, and one of the things that did cause this change was that the media conglomerates were allowed to expand. There was more of a fractured media before the 90s, before the Clinton administration. Once again, the Clinton administration is kind of villainous in a lot of ways here, and they're villainous in that they allowed this sort of media conglomeration, which I think maybe it was the Reagan administration that was in when the fairness doctrine ended, where you had to present kind of two views about whatever topic. So, in short, that part of the book was enlightening and interesting to me, and was about how popular culture was influencing women, men and women. Oh, the rise of pornography, the easy access of pornography on the internet and all that. I didn't see pornography at all until in my early 20s, when I went to see Deep Throat in a movie theater. That was my first exposure to pornographic cinema. So, whereas now whatever 12-year-old or younger or whatever are seeing these things all the time, and she has sort of interesting quotes all through the book, the beginnings of the chapter, and one of them is how pornography demonstrates, educates, shows people how to do things, and that's I think that's valid, and I think it did distort people's expectations and their pleasure level, where they how they the ease of getting off, the wondrousness of when you don't have sex going on all the time, and you can masturbate to whatever films daily that come to you in instant. Sex is more of a special thing, I think, a mysterious thing. You're going into a new adventurous zone with someone else who's having the same kind of experience. I mean, I think that's a lot of the what sex was like in the 60s and early 70s, before all this proliferation of pornography. So, and I think it did change people's expectations. Cinema has a bias. Cinema has bias to shooting, and that also goes into shooting in pornography. The shooting is dynamic. The things that stick out are dynamic. The swords or the penis is dynamic. It is something to look at. It is exterior. It shoots. So we get the advent and the ubiquitous sort of face shot. So and that sets expectations for some bros, whatever, to expect that. So all that kind of stuff was quite interesting, and you know, she goes into a lot of influencers that came up through the period. You know, Paris Hilton. You know, all these things that. Once again, then the Kardashians, and I had no exposure to the Kardashians, and how these people, how the expectations of beauty influenced women, the proliferation of cosmetic surgeries, the you know, sort of general use for people that money of cosmetic surgeries as an option to follow along with, like, the Kardashians, these sorts of images of beauty that are very sort of really old school and feminized. You know, it's the a you know, very made up a view of femininity that is you know, very polar and very you know, old school, and that I thought we were getting rid of in you know, the second wave feminism of what, 1970. So, but of course that didn't work out. So here we are. So all that was quite interesting too. but you know, it's interesting while she goes into you know, the Kardashians and people, their followers, trying to get into this particular type of image. Bruce, Caitlyn Jenner, who's all part of the same thing, gets a pass. They're actually finding their true self. Unfortunately, and fortunately in other ways, I'm very individualistic. That was part of my training as a 50s, 60s child. I came out very individualistic. So, you know, I never had, and I had a bad thing go on when I was a child with older boys. So I've never been, you know, really a bro. I would never been somebody who's, like, you know, talking about women or talking about our sexual preferences with women. You know, all these kind of bro things. This sort of this homosocial attitudes that permeate part of our culture. I am not at all homosocial in that way. So, well, then I felt that, you know, you can see that the type, there's big spaces between the lines, and, you know, the type is fairly big. And it's only, what, 284 pages long, but I felt that really the book was kind of pamphlet or article length, and then that would have been enough, and that some of it is, like, padded toward the end. So the last chapters I was kind of like, you know, whatever. The girl boss chapter that has a lot of goes into a lot of influencer stuff, and multi-level marketing, MLMs, and that to me was kind of old news. So, you know, that I didn't care for that chapter. And then at the end, she comes up with these political things, you know, about the presidential races, as if it was some kind of exclusively sexist thing that Hillary Clinton did not become president. Well, Hillary Clinton was, you know, she doesn't really say it, but, you know, Hillary Clinton was the wife of a former president, Bill Clinton, and a former president that as far as I'm concerned, and many people were concerned, abused the power of his office by, and trashed the country and caused this big controversy by having a intern give him a blowjob in the office that was found out. While there's a vast right-wing conspiracy after him, he goes and has this blowjob, which is exposed, and then everybody had to defend Bill Clinton, and who was not really worth defending anyway, because he was basically a Republican disguised as a Democrat who ended welfare, who started, after they promised not to move NATO into Eastern Europe, who started that, a war hawk, and a fucking slime ball. So, and other issues of women. So then we're supposed to take at the end of this book that she's accusing the culture of not accepting, on gender reasons, not accepting Hillary Clinton, after we all knew about her and her husband and how she stuck by her husband, who is this serial abuser of women, and I think we already almost knew about Jeffrey Epstein and flying in the airplane, all that kind of thing. So it just didn't work out for me, and I felt that part it just didn't ring true. And then she goes on to Camilla Harris too. Well, why didn't we accept Camilla Harris? Well, she was going to continue the genocide, could not say anything about the policy of the Democrats and the Zionists as far as what was going on in Palestine every day, and still is going on. She did not say anything about that different from her boss Biden, and she was not primary. There was no primary. There was just this, okay, now here just because she's vice president, that's not the way it works. The vice president is not automatically entitled to run for president if the president, is failing to run. When Johnson decided not to run, whatever, in '68. Hubert Humphrey, who was the vice president at the time, had to win primaries to become the candidate, and ultimately he did. Did he? Yeah, I think he did. But he had to go to primaries, and this was like, oh no, now it's just going to be Camilla, and you don't like Camilla, so then you're sexist, and it's not that she was kind of otherwise basically kind of a weak candidate. So that the last couple of chapters there just basically failed me. So the beginning is really good. The later chapters, like whatever. So that's what I'm saying. A mixed review of Girl on Girl by Sophie Gilbert. Thank you for watching.